Welcome back, everyone. So, today we're going to take a look at family annihilators. Again, this time we're going to talk more about who they are and overall. And is there any patterns that we can see in these men and women who decide that they need to annihilate their families to get rid of them all? Although there are several reasons why people, men and women, 60-40 split, 60% men, 40% women, annihilate their families. There are some overall issues that always are underlining why they do it. Those main issues that they all have are they feel they are in a financial hole that they will never be able to escape. Either stress from work is forcing them to feel like they're going to lose their job, that somebody else is overtaking them in a position at work and they're not getting the respect and the money that they deserve for the work that they're doing. But it always comes back to financial. So they're not earning enough, so they're not being the breadwinner of the family that people have come to rely on, their family has come to rely on. Maybe they fear that the company is going to be outsourced. And yes, with that, I should add a side note that family annihilations in America have more than tripled since the 1980s in the outsourcing of jobs outside of the country. As the manufacturing and the production of items here in America have gone overseas because we gave the power to those in the talking suits in DC to be able to give tax breaks to companies to say, you know what, we're just going to leave everything here and we're going to go over to China. Family annihilations have tripled since then. This is a fact that you can look up, and the correlation is shocking. As each major company has picked up and walked out of the country, annihilations shot right up almost immediately right afterwards. Along with financial, they also feel a deem of disrespect. They feel within themselves. Now, this is all going on in their heads. It may not necessarily be an outside factor. They just fear these things inside their head and they've built them up over and over again. But they may also they feel a disrespect that society, their family, and everyone around them is disrespecting them and not paying them the respect that they deserve. They also recently have taken a shot to their ego, meaning that they've learned that they are not, maybe they're not the well put together individual that they were in high school. Maybe they're not the high school athlete, quarterback star anymore, or maybe they built themselves up to be the best at something, like Christopher Watts built himself up to be the best possible mechanic. But then along came someone else in his life, either coworker, friend, an acquaintance, somebody who was smarter and knew more than him. And that was a direct blow to his ego. And that starts the motion. Just one more cog on the thing, turning in his head, pushing him closer and closer to annihilating his family. And we all know the outcome. Next thing is pending divorce and issues with one or more children. If they have two children, three, four children, they have a problem with one of those children that they see as a direct example of the spouse. That one child is going to be the target. That one child is the one child that they're harder on that one child than the others. That one child is favored by the mother because they keep on going after that one child. Maybe they're picking on them. Maybe they're emotionally, distant from that child, the complete opposite. But they go after that one child out of all of them. Add more children, it's still one. It's never two. It's always one. The bottom line in all those is they feel a complete loss of identity. Think of it like an orange, a little mandarin orange. As you peel away the layers of the orange, you see the fruit inside. The fruit is what makes up this family annihilator. And as the little pieces of the orange get taken away, there is less and less and less of the actual individual left in that orange. And they feel emotionally empty because in their entire lives, they have never been able to emotionally attach themselves to anyone. They may have had a lot of relationships or they may have had none because they've never been able to emotionally attach themselves to anyone or fully give themselves. If they have a spouse and they have children early on in their lives, mid 20s, if they have children then, before they're completely developed and mind is developed, they will never be able to, they will show up for that child's birth, but they will never be able to emotionally attach themselves to that child. In Christopher Watts' case, he was never able to emotionally attach himself to Bella. When it comes to Daniel McCarthy, his was his eldest child, the 5-year-old. He was never able to attach himself. Christian Logan, he was never able to emotionally attach himself to his oldest one. And it goes on and on and on and on. Same thing with Andrea Yates and all the women who have done this. They've never been able to emotionally attach themselves to the oldest child, even if they gave birth to him. They, yeah, great. Hey, here, pat on the back, love, hug. Here, they outwardly express, but they cannot innerly express emotion, love, and support. It does not make them a psychopath. It does not make them a sociopath. Those words get tossed around a lot, and they're not right. You need to learn the definitions of them. So, other things that they all have in common: white male in their 30s, educated with some kind of a formal education above a high school degree. Maybe they went to community college for a year or 2 years and then went to a trade school, but they have some kind of education above and beyond just that. Maybe they got their education on the job, but they still have an education above and beyond a high school diploma. They are overperformers at work. Exemplary, and that is something you need to really understand. These people are exemplary employees. They will do anything and everything for the company, and they give their heart and their soul to the company. Like I said earlier, when the company picks up and ships everything overseas, boom, that is a match right there that lights that powder keg and they explode. They lose it. They are terrible husbands. They are emotionally not there for their wives ever, from the day that they marry until the day that they kill them. They're never there emotionally for them. The wife may not even know it right away. They might be 2, 3, 5 years, 10 years down the road before they actually will look back and go, holy crap, this guy, I was living with a sociopath. But it's not a sociopath. He's close to a sociopath, but he's not a full-blown sociopath, because there are things that he does care about and he is able to express emotion about, but not necessarily her or the oldest child. He's very self-destructive. He will have episodes along the line where he acts out and he will maybe way overspend, blow everything in the checking account on a t-shirt that he bought off of eBay because his favorite person wore it. And it's something along those lines. It's not just like, oh, I bought like $10,000 for the tools because I'm an auto mechanic. They blow the money, like they do things that are just way off course. One of the last things is they either kill themselves during the act of annihilating their family, or they will wholeheartedly confess to everything that's happened to them. And everything, again, and that's not a mistake, everything that has happened to them. They see the family as something that happened to them, as if you're in a car accident. But they are unable to actually see that, you know what, I killed 3 people, 5 people, 10 people, whatever. They see it as something that happened to them and that it was a problem that needed to be addressed and taken care of. They're never spontaneous. They don't just act out and kill the family. In every single circumstance of family annihilators, they have planned out these events days, weeks, months, years, decades. Over and over again in their head, they've planned out how they're going to kill every single member and who they're going to kill first. They never are talked into it. You can't talk them into it. You can't talk them the hell out of it. There is no way you could ever talk these people out of it or into it. This is something that is inside their head and it goes to the core of the individual. They cannot get away from this. Again, I can't stress that enough. These people are not like us. They may walk amongst us. There may be as many as 10,000 of them here in America alone who are walking amongst us, sitting next to us every single day, who all have and do the same things inside their heads every day. They're taking everything and around them outwardly and bringing it in, and they bottle it up, and they don't express it ever emotionally outwardly to you, me, anyone. They can't go to a therapist and get this out of them. You can't medicate these people. Only thing you can hope for is that something along the line disables them to the point where they're never allowed firearms, weapons, or in Christopher Watts' case, to bring the family back into his home. That was the trigger. The moment they came home from their vacation was the trigger that he knew he had to kill them, because he saw that right then and there, the moment they left, that they could be gone. And again, he's not trying to harm them. He's doing it because he feels like he has to do it, because he needs to save them from themselves. He needs to save them from becoming him. They all must die. One way or another, he's going to follow through the plan, and he has to kill them all. Mothers, fathers, cousins, if they're there, they're going to die. It doesn't matter who they are. He has to save them. And in his mind, he is doing just that. He's saving them from becoming him. Thanks for watching today.